Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again with another episode of my Vegas Golden Knights franchise mode series right here on NHL 19. And in this episode, we are back in the playoffs defending our championship. Hopefully, we can go back to back. Our journey begins here in the first round against the Arizona Coyotes. A couple of things to get to, though, before we take a look at the team. First of all, Fredzina, Mason for Hall of Fame. He's got a good shot at this rate. Adama, I don't recall making a sexual joke outside of saying that Russell Claessen's an absolute stallion, which is true. Isaac, what's up? Here's Johnny. It's literally insane how much better Claessen is than he who shall not be named. Yeah, but that's how it goes. Jared, you traded Noel to get Russell Claessen. Fair point. For the power play, I'd consider putting Fedorov there. I'll show you what the power play setup is at the moment. That's not going to happen immediately, but there is a decent chance of that. How do I feel about the Seattle expansion? I'm just happy to have an even number of teams. Tired 24 sense of humor is that of the high potential, or is of the high potential. High franchise. Allegedly. That's why it's called potential, because it's certainly not there. Aliza, I would love to have you help pick out the rings. That would be great. And with Rositas, why not? He's got the red mist of the likes that, Mark Jankowski has, where if you piss him off, you can see the rage and the murder in his eyes. So there is that. REITs will develop. There was also comments of trade REITs. So we'll see. Claessen looks more like Jesse Eisenberg than Ville Valo. Maybe Jesse Eisenberg in the role of Ville Valo. That seems to work. How do you get from Seattle to Connecticut? Bus, train, feet, car, horse, dinosaur. It's a Yoshi reference. Trust me, if you want the views and the fame, you gotta stop sleeping. I mean, I have nearly 3 million views and 11K subs. I could go down to the grocery store right now and still not be noticed. Go figure, Tugi has a huge crush on Russell Claessen. You telling me you don't? Come on now. Sure, missing Vasi. True. Start dumping goalies. We will, eventually. I mean, we can't do it now. The first line should get into the Hall of Fame right after this run ends. Probably. Let's be honest. Probably. I told you guys that it was a mistake to get rid of Lackey over Fotinos. I kind of felt the same way. But the tribe had spoken. Should have gotten rid of Dwyer. He was disappointing and is down to an 84. I'll explain that in a moment. Definitely unsubbing because of that Fedorov diss. I mean, it had to be done. It had to be done. Claessen already put a ring on it, with the cup. Yeah, but now he's going to have a second one. I guess. I don't even know. Russell Claessen is Jim Morrison reincarnated. That is also a tremendous comparison. Let's take a look at the lines, because we are keeping things the same as the regular season ended for now, although there is potential to change things up. The big debate here is with the power play. Tate Dwyer is down to an 84, but that's not natural regression. It's due to the morale system. Unfortunately, there is one instance of it being ice time, but aside from that, it's just, I don't know. I don't know why he's in this crisis. He has power play time. He doesn't have top-line power play time. That's not going to happen. Defensively, the only way we could make room for Fedorov is if we drop Taylor Gertzen, which is not going to happen because he was actually quite strong. So we're pretty much locked into what we have here, and as it is, the power play and penalty kill, we're also pretty damn good this year. So as far as, freaking out about Dwyer being down to an 84, no. He should snap out of it. He might not, but he should. And hopefully he will once we really get the ball rolling here. Again, he's not on the penalty kill. He is on the power play. Maybe if he starts picking up his game a little bit, he'll be able to sort things out. Let's take a look at ye old team meeting here, shall we? Tonight is game 1 of the series. That is true. Doesn't matter who you are, we need to play hard as a team. That's true. We have to view the big picture. That's risky, but no, I'm going to go with the bottom one. We can do this. We can go back to back. I do believe. Some people believe. Mason doesn't believe, though, which very much scares me. I know I'm playing with fire by answering those a little bit more frequently, but hey, it's more fun. Let's take a look at who we are up against. The Arizona Coyotes. And that is the team at the moment. 82 overall, Jeff Skinner, with 1 Dylan Strome and Christian Fischer. Second line of Ryan Donato, Corbin Van de Velde, who was a former second-round pick, and Jesper Foss. Third line, Lawson Crouse, Casey Mullen, former 8th overall pick, and Artem Bure, who was a 5th-round steal for the Coyotes. 4th line, Carson Twarniski with Barrett Hayton and Nick Bjugstad. Is it the best lineup we've ever seen? No. Is it fairly well-rounded? Yeah, I'd say so. Defensively is also a tad bit concerning, I'd say. OEL with Chychrun. You have Ludwig Stahlberg, former 1st-round pick of the Sabres with Eunice Brodin. Valeri Jass, former 1st-round pick, is with Cody Ceci. The goaltender, my God, we should win this series. Aiden Lagasse, or perhaps Legacy. It's either much like Lagasse of the Vegas Golden Knights, formerly of the Dallas Stars, or it's like Manny Legacy of Manny Legacy fame. He was a 2nd-round pick of the Oats, Jakob Bunka. The Bunka. Shout out to Gerndeep. Is the backup, as we get a couple of healthy scratches. Should we beat this team? Yes. Vasilevsky and Cole or not, we are better than the Arizona Coyotes on paper, but as we have discovered over many, many occasions now at this point, better on paper means absolutely nothing to this game. So like I said, as far as our team is concerned, there is room for maneuverability. You look at what we did in the playoffs last year with guys like Dwyer and Lackey ending up on the 4th line. I'm not going to be afraid to reward people who are actually performing, but let's hope it doesn't come to that. Again, we had the 2nd best record in the league. This is a series we should win, and win convincingly. It's down to our players performing to their utmost level. Let's see what we can do. It's game 1 here on home ice. 1st period. And that is not the start we wanted. Dylan Strome. I knew I was hyping it up too much, putting too much pressure on the team. Strome has the difference maker thus far. 2nd period, Strome scores again. Rizzi gets a goal back. We have the edge in shots, but we're down 2-1 on the board, and we need a big effort here in this 3rd period. The big players have to show up in every game. Goldobin, Cody Glass, that works. Jass gets it right back, though. 42 seconds later. And that could be the backbreaker. Again, Jeff Skinner makes it 4. Gervais Chouinard not exactly getting off to a flying start here. And I have to admit, 3rd goal from Fotinos, that'll do it. 4-3 final. We do lose this 1st game. That's a huge victory for the Coyotes. And while you'd like to think 3 goals would be enough, considering they're running an 81 overall goalie and we have the offense that we do, I would like to see a bit more output from some of the players on this squad. I think we should be capable of putting up more than 3 goals. Granted, again, we shouldn't have to bail out the goaltending, which was brutal in that game. We're behind in this series. It's dangerous to be in this position, but I thought I had a great team who thrived under pressure. Was I wrong? That's true. You know, the fans are behind us. They're excited. The people are excited. The fans are excited. The sponsors are excited. I'm excited. Eugene's excited. Get excited and win this next goddamn hockey game. I'm not going to make any changes. I'm going to see how we respond to the loss. But again, the opportunity is there to change up the squad if we have to. I certainly don't hope that we need to, but there's a chance of that happening. As we go to the 1st period of Game 2, it's scoreless. Slight edge and shots. 2nd period, and it's Jass scoring again. 22 shots to 13. We have not been able to find the back of the net nearly enough. Tate Dwyer does get on the board. We need the offense to show up. We have 4 goals through 5 periods of play. That is simply not enough for an offense of this caliber to be playing a goalie of this caliber, as Jeff Skinner scores on the power play. And unless someone steps up here, power play for the Yotes. Clausen scores out of nowhere. His 1st of the series. Are we destined for overtime? We are. So a big goal there. Clausen and Dwyer in the 3rd period. 2 apiece. We go to overtime. I'm not going to jump in unless it's an elimination game. This is a big moment for us. If we win this, it's Russell Clausen or Marvin Mason getting the goal. I'm going to go with Mason. If they win, it's going to be Dylan Strome. I think it's going to be one of the 2 big players stepping up. Let's do this. Overtime. And there is a quick winner. It's Lawson Crouse. And the Arizona Coyotes have taken the first 2 games of this series. And while I wouldn't have been surprised, as Rositas is out with a concussion, while I wouldn't have been surprised to see that, okay, you know, injuries, or not even necessarily injuries, but, you know, okay, maybe we lose a game. Did not think we'd be down 2-0 in this series. Simply didn't expect that, and honestly, it's unacceptable. We're not going to use Jake Dotchin here. We are going to call up Lindberg, and we're going to see what he can do. And as a matter of fact, we have enough space on the roster to call him up. I'm actually going to send down Dotchin just to make sure he doesn't get in through best lines. Honestly, might not be the worst idea to send down Pacioretty either. Doesn't get in through best lines, though. Okay, so goaltending-wise, we might be turning to Dirksen in this next game. Defensively, I think we're still going to run Provorov and Bobrovsky, perhaps. They have been our best pairing. And again, Provorov has the better slap shots. We'll have him on the strong side. And from there, I think we go with Gertzen and Norton. Because why not? Tynan with Lindberg can also work. Just to actually have the top four as the top four in the lineup. Let's switch and swap. Let's swip Lindberg and Tynan. Taylor Gertzen will be on that left-hand side, and that'll be the defense moving forward. Offensively is where it gets questionable. I think in terms of the team, I'm going to bump up Dwyer, and I think I'm going to drop Norton out of the power play now, and we are going to reward Verbata, or not Verbata, we're going to reward Fedorov after the strong season that he had, 47 points. We're going to get him onto the power play and see what he can do. So Tate Dwyer up to that top unit, which makes quite a bit of sense. We'll put Provorov on that side. Second unit, you know, I got to admit, Goldobin's going up. Goldobin is going up. We're going to have him on the right-hand side, though, Klassen at center. And then second unit, let's have Fotinos at center, Fedorov on the left. And that is a decent enough setup. Our penalty kill, still looking okay. Lindberg is in, though. So as far as this team is concerned, this fourth line has been completely ineffective. Verbata hasn't done much either. Now, I do want to try something here, because I was looking at this. Leddy has good chemistry with, or Verbata has good chemistry with Leddy and Steos. So we're going to make that change. And as far as Kirill Datsuk is concerned, I mean, it's not as if he deserves to be bumped up. But, yeah, it's just simply not enough. Mason doesn't have a single point in this series. Fedorov, good chemistry with Mason, Goldobin, and Fotinos. So Goldobin is the common link between those two. I'm not saying it's necessary, but I'm certainly willing to try some different things. Fotinos, though, also good with Goldobin and Rizzi. Goldobin good with Fotinos and Rizzi. And then Dwyer is good with Datsuk and Glass. Right. So what if we go... It's a tough call. What if we go... I'm so tempted to bump up Rizzi, but I kind of want to try that new third line. I think I'm going to make that switch right there, and we're just going to try to spark something. That way at least every line has a slight difference, if not a major difference. We'll go best line for the Chicago Wolves, who have also made the playoffs, but obviously we are not as concerned when we're down 2-0 in a series that we should be winning. We've been outscored 7-5 over the first two games of this series, which leads me to the other change. Gervais Chouinard, you have lost the crease through 2 games, buddy. And while this is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination, we are going to be turning to Josh Dirksen. Here's the thing. When we traded Vasilevsky to get the most out of his value, we knew that we were taking a step back. Did anybody think that Gervais Chouinard was going to be this bad? Maybe, but you kind of had to hope for a little bit better. A little bit better. Let's demand. Let's demand. See if that can spark anybody. Marvin Mason reacts positively Let's hope you start performing on the ice, though, because that would be great. You certainly haven't done that. I think I've killed enough time in between games. Game 3 in Arizona. Let's see what we got. First period, we do get the opening 2 goals, Rizzi and Mason. So promising. Bure gets a goal back, though. We had the slight edge in shots and a slight edge on the scoreboard. Second period, while we found our offensive touch, Mason gets his second of the game. Fotinos gets one. Donato also has one for Arizona. It is 4-2. 4 goals on 17 shots. Maybe it is a curse of a human, or the curse of the home goalie in this series. Third period underway. One more goal I'd like to think would be the nail in the coffin. Can we get it? Russell Clausen says yes, we can. Fisher gets it back nearly immediately, 58 seconds later. To be exact, we have 7.5 minutes to go. It's 5-3. Power play for Arizona goes to waste. Mason completes the hat trick. Ask and you shall receive. Marvin Mason steps up. 6-3 is your final, and we finally get perhaps what we needed the most, and that is the offense stepping up in a big-time way. That top line with Goldobin up there, who had 4 assists, carries the way. And despite another lackluster performance from a starting goalie, we at least had the offense in that game to overcome it. So, interesting results, I'd say, through the first 3 games. Another team meeting. What do we got? Challenging, demanding, challenging. Like, step up, please. For the love of God, step up. I don't think we can afford to lose this. Regardless of our deficiencies at this point, we're still good enough to win this series. We've had nothing from the bottom 6. Fedorov and Rizzi have been solid. Nothing from Datsuk. 2 from Dwyer. 1 point from Cody Glass. That is so unlike Cody Glass. And I don't know what the issue is. I genuinely don't understand what the issue is. That's the thing. I'm not going to drop Glass. Fuck it, we're going crazy. Fotinos, Fedorov, Rizzi, Datsuk, Glass, Dwyer, Verbata, Ledisteos. Let's see what happens. I'm not afraid to go crazy with the changes. It worked last year. We were able to find that spark. I am going to start Gervais Chouinard in this game. It's his chance to get us back into this, or he completely falters again. Oh, that menu lag is just tremendous. Or he completely falters again, and we find ourselves in a decent amount of trouble. Let's see what happens. It's game 4. The home team, as per usual, has yet to win a game in this series. Again, not all that uncommon. Let's see what happens in game 4. Hopefully that trend continues. First period, and it's a goal apiece. Dylan Strome, Josh Fotinos was able to tie it. They outshot us 12-8. Second period, holy hell. Tate Dwyer, Victor Goldobin, and Maxim Fedorov. Beautiful. Beautiful. That is the offensive output that we need. It is 4-1. Heading into the third, Christian Fischer scores. Please don't tell me we're going to turn into the Toronto Maple. Don't leaf it. I don't want to believe this. I don't want to. As we hit the halfway point, it's 4-3. Jesus Christ, we're the Leafs. Gervais Chouinard, this might be the last game you ever start for Vegas. I would not be surprised if the viewers turn on you, buddy. A third period collapse. We go to overtime. It's either a 2-all series lead heading back to Vegas for Game 5, or we are facing elimination in that very same game. Overtime. Arizona won the previous game that went to overtime. As we're going to make it about 5 minutes in, the Arizona Coyotes from center fucking ice have come back from 4-1 down to win 5-4 in overtime. We are the Leafs, at least with this goaltending. Gervais Chouinard, again, may have just played his last game as a Golden Knight. And of course, because you can't get through a playoff series in this game without someone scoring from center ice, it's a center ice overtime winner on the power play. Absolutely horrific. And we are now one one game away from being eliminated. That is a real possibility that we could be eliminated here. So our fans are already calling for some heads. You want yours to be one of them? Get it done. I agree. And you know what? As far as fans, I'm a fan of this team, and I'm calling for Gervais Chouinard's head because he has let us down to an extreme extent. We're talking early stages of this series, Marc-Andre Fleury levels. Like, that is one of the worst save percentages I have ever seen through 3 games of a playoff series. Absolutely horrific. I mean, again, it's not as if he was amazing in the regular season. And it was his rookie year with a .913 save percentage. But, I mean, come on. Come on is the only response to this. He is so much better than this. I mean, last year, you look at what he did in the AHL playoffs. Granted, they got eliminated in the first round. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. So hopefully we can find a way to win this. Defensively, I mean, again, plus minus isn't the best stat to go off of. We talk about that every time. Ivan Provorov. Okay, so here's the thing. Like, we can fully look at this team if this goes poorly, but flat out, Ivan Provorov is not a playoff performer. He's a 40 to 50 point defenseman in the regular season, but last year, 9 points in the cup run, has 1 point in 4 games. Provorov, I'm going to say it right now, is not worth $9 million. I need playoff success, not just regular season success. So, I have options here as far as what we can look to do, and to be honest, I'm going to go Bobrovsky, Norton, Gertz, and Provorov. And we're going to see if that change sparks something with Provorov. Unfortunately, our fourth line has been completely ineffective. So I'm not exactly sure what we want to do there. Fedorov's been great. Fotinos has been solid. I mean, Rizzi has 2 goals, which is nice, but I do think we have to make a change. I'm not sure if it's Dwyer that I want to bump back up or if it's Cody Glass that I want to bump back up. We do have options there, which is nice. I mean, if we go Rizzi... Again, the problem here is that our fourth line it's just been completely ineffective. I mean, we do have the likes of Hudson Bembridge that could be bumped up, and you know what? Maybe he is the change that we need. Leddy had 29 points in the regular season. Steos had 25 with 17 goals, and he has just completely shut down. So, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do here. I got to be honest. Not sure at all. I think the big problem more than anything is that it's an elimination game, so the pressure's on. Alright. Datsuk has 1 point, but still, I think we're going to drop him. We're going to reunite that fourth line that was somewhat successful. And depending on who the hell can take face-offs here, I'm alright with Rizzi being the center of this line. We'll try it. We will try it. And then Cody Glass could also be the center, which I think he will be. Let's go Fotinos, Glass, Fedorov, and keep that top unit the same. It's mix and matching for the sake of just trying to get anybody going. And that's the problem. It can be like, oh, you made changes too early. I didn't, though, because, 2 games or so. Oh, fuck, I didn't take out Gervais Chouinard. Oh, Jesus, I mean, let's be honest, this series was probably over anyway if we had to rely on Dirksen. Point is, we know who's capable of putting up points. People haven't been. That's the issue. Gervais Chouinard's in. I don't know if I could have relied on Dirksen to get the job done anyway. Game 5, must win, first period, and we do have a 2-1 lead. Fotinos gets the opening goal. Fisher gets one back. Marvin Mason restores the lead, 11 shots to 4, but a 2-1 advantage. Second period, make it 3-1, Russell Clausen, and yet again, we enter the third period with a multi-goal lead as Fisher gets his second of the game, and if Gervais Chouinard loses this, he's done. I don't think we could ever trust him in the playoffs again. Power play opportunity goes to waste 5 minutes left. Fedorov scores to make it 4-2. 3 minutes left. And there will be a Game 6 back in Arizona. Goldobin with an extra goal. Not an empty netter, but with an extra goal there to make it 5-2. 32 shots to 19. We get the W. Goldobin and Mason, the top line, leading the way. And at the very least, it's not going to be 4-1 final. I mean, it's tough. Last year, I'd say we had expectations. I don't know if it's fair to say we should have the same expectations this year, but knowing what this team is capable of, I certainly expect more than getting, beaten by the Coyotes. Thankfully, it's not going to be a sweep or a 5-game loss. We at least take it to 6 games. I'm going to go with the same demanding response. Klassen and Dirksen don't like it, but you don't have to like it, but you have to live with it, and you better get the job done on the ice, especially to Dirksen, who, I got to be honest, I think I'm still going to start here in Game 6, despite Gervais Chouinard winning that prior game. We're going to go back to Dirksen for this next one, and then as far as the team is concerned, Lindberg and Hatanen have been better than Gertzen and Provorov. I'm sorry, I'm going to reward players who have actually been performing. Period. And then offensively, again, still nothing from that fourth line. I'm making changes. I don't care if he had 17 goals in the regular season or not. We are dropping Leddy and Steos. I might drop Patches as well. I think we're going to call up Bembridge and probably Robertson. I could give it to Lindgren, the former 6th-round pick. I think we'll give it to the veteran Robertson. So they both step up into a not-so-enviable situation. As again, defensively, Bobrovsky, Norton, Lindberg, Tynan is how we're shaping up, which is insane. Rositas is back, but not 100%. So he will be taking a seat. Bobrovsky, Norton, Lindberg, Katainen, Gertzen, and Provorov. Offensively, again, it's Verbata with no points. He will be... I think we're going to drop Datsuk as well. So the fourth line is going to be Verbata, Robertson, Datsuk. I'm going to trust Bembridge to play at a higher level. Who has the more accurate shot? It is Robertson. Third line, Rizzi with 2 goals. 3 points for Dwyer. I think that's our answer right there. It's going to be Rizzi, Bembridge, and Dwyer with Rizzi at center. On the second line, I mean, 5 points for Fotinos. I think we're pretty much set. I mean, Fedorov has been pretty damn good. He has 8 points, 4 for Glass, 5 for Fotinos. I mean, Fedorov right now outproducing Russell Klassen and Marvin Mason. That might be a concern. It's promising for Fedorov, but still, that might be a concern. So power play-wise, our top 6. Mason, Goldobin, Klassen. Again, Dwyer's pissed, but I don't care. He's not really performing. 3 points in 5 games is okay, but not when our backs are against the wall, basically. And I know I'm certainly being a bit too harsh, but that pressure's on, man. That pressure is on. So by default, it actually doesn't have Dwyer on the power play. We can take out Norton, and we are going to bring in Dwyer. See if we can continue to get him going. Gertzen hasn't done anything point production-wise, so you are going to sit as well. We're going to bring in Fedorov. And from there, I think we're okay. I might leave Provorov. So Mason, Goldobin, Klassen, which is the top unit. Fotinos, Glass, and Fedorov. I think I said Fedorov twice. I think I said Mason instead of Fedorov. And third line of Dwyer and Bembridge. I'm all right with that. I was very much tempted to take out Provorov, who will be on the second unit. We're going to go with... it's a tough call. Let's go with this setup here of Fedorov, Goldobin, Klassen, Mason also on that side, Fotinos, Glass, Bembridge. We will swap them, Provorov and Dwyer. Works for me. Actually, here we'll have Dwyer on that side. We'll see how this goes. Litany of changes heading into, or a myriad of changes, we should probably say, heading in to this 6th game. It's been a more dramatic series than I would have thought, more micromanaging than I would have hoped. But regardless, we're still at this point. We're still alive in this series, but we need a big win on the road here in Game 6. First period is scoreless, 8 shots apiece. Second period, not scoreless. Jeff Skinner has the lone goal of this game, and as it stands right now, our high-powered offense is being shut out by an 81 overall goalie. We need someone to step up here. We need somebody. It's inexcusable for a team with Mason, Klassen, Goldobin, Glass, Mason scores, to get shut out, or even to lose a game where the opposition only puts up a goal thus far. We need this next goal. Carson Tornitzky may have just won this series for the Coyotes. The Vegas Golden Knights have been eliminated. We absolutely blow it in the first round. I'm sorry. That's the only way I'm choosing to view it. We let an 81 overall goalie get the better of us. For us, an 85 to 86 overall goalie sinks us, while an 81 overall succeeds on the other side. Inexcusable. Inexcusable. Mason was solid. Goldobin was solid. Klassen, arguably not enough. Fotinos was okay. Cody Glass was a bit disappointing. Fedorov was solid. Dwyer, Rizzi didn't do much. And I think the big story, really just in general, was the ineffectiveness of the bottom 6 and the lack of production from guys like Ivan Provorov. Just completely useless. And then, of course, the goaltending, where Dirksen was solid. Gervais Chouinard, again, may have played his final game here, and obviously the injury to Rositas did not help as well with him getting injured in Game 2. But I think that's just the story, is that we let an 81 overall goaltender in Arizona outduel us, which isn't okay. It just isn't. Now again, we averaged 3.5 goals for per game, which is solid. We outscored Arizona, which is nice. Goals against per game was actually lower. We scored more goals, allowed fewer goals, and we're still out in 6 games. They had a better power play. They had a better penalty kill. And we are going home in very, very disappointing fashion with numerous options on how to proceed from here. I don't think we're going to fully hit the panic switch in some aspects. Again, I expected us to be slightly weaker this year, but the future of Gervais Chouinard, whether or not he can rebound from this, I don't know. Dirksen, at the very least, needs to be re-signed. Coburn's still coming up, and we're going to have Whitaker. Reitz won't make drastic enough improvements to the point where we're not going to trade him at the deadline. We have $26 million to work with. Dirksen wants to get paid as well. So I don't know what the goalie situation is going to look like next year, because there is no way we're keeping Dirksen for anywhere near, although he obviously thinks of himself that he's going to be an amazing goalie. This is tough. You have Rositas' contract up. He's looking for apparently anywhere between $5 and $8 million, depending on the years. Lindbergh's deal is up. Like I said, there's going to be some decision-making. Glass and Fotinos, their contracts are up. Tate Dwyer's future might now be in jeopardy. I think I could repair that relationship, but the problem with that is Fedorov has proven to be top 6 caliber for whatever reason. So giving him the opportunity with that 96 offensive awareness and that crazy good shooting accuracy, having him as a sniper could be the way to go. Like I said, we have options. And then you factor in some younger players as well that are still coming through the system. It's an interesting time. It's unfortunate that our cup defense has ended in the first round. That's too near and dear to my heart with the way the Bruins lost to fucking Holtby and the Caps in 2012. We needed to be better and work harder. That's just flat out true. Good. Everyone should be pissed about it. Mason and Fedorov and Hutanen are the only 3 real players on this squad. Because any player that's like, we played hard, you didn't play hard enough. You didn't play hard enough. We can point the blame, we can say whatever. The end result is the same. We are out. The next episode, unfortunately, will be an off-season episode. We'll more than likely begin with a little bit of re-signing before getting to the draft and hopefully free agency as well. I'd love to have this team set up for next year. Second best team in the NHL. Out in the first round. Perhaps the curse that loomed overhead of this team in the early stages of this series has now come back, where we have expectations and we fall short. We'll see what happens. It was a very big calendar year for us, from cup win to a major off season and now to a major playoff disappointment. It's going to be very interesting to see how we rebound from this. I hope you enjoyed the episode regardless. I'm sure, my decisions to flip a lot of players around will be critiqued. It is what it is, especially when, it worked last year. So it was worth a shot. At the end of the day, though, bad goaltending. And just, in general, some completely ineffective bottom 6 players and some completely ineffective defensemen in terms of point production cost us that series. They really did. So who knows what happens next episode? Has Gervais Chouinard played his final game? Will we get rid of Provorov? Tate Dwyer? Depends on what the draft shapes up to be. Depends on what free agency looks like. We got a lot to get to next time out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the series. I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, have a good one. And goodbye for now.